That's journal, journal, journal. There's the book. Hey, this past weekend when I was at the Inner Circle with Kyle Wilson, again, it's been a decade. I'm shocked. Are you shocked? It's been a decade. This was a great book. 100 is the new 30. Dr. Gladden and talking about some things, and maybe you've seen Big Brecca guy talking about hydrogen capsules. So these are little capsules you drop into your water to create hydrogen gas in it. It's phenomenal. Anyway, so cool stuff. Here we go. Think and Grow Rich. Talking about persistence. Good morning, everybody. So we were talking about this, and this is the stuff that's underlined that we finished up last night. We who stand on the sidelines of life see an overwhelmingly large number who go down in defeat, never to rise again. We see the few who take on the punishment of defeat as an urge to greater effort. These, fortunately, never learn to accept life's reverse gear. What we do not see, what most of us never suspect of existing, is the silent but irreversible power that comes to the rescue of those who fight in the face of discouragement. Right? It's when you push through, it's when you take yourself to the next level that for some reason there's this silent resource that shows up, this unbelievable creativity, passion, urge, something. Uh, So you can continue on. It talks about a story about a woman on Broadway. Broadway will give you a beggar cup of coffee and a sandwich, but it demands persistence for those who go after the big stakes. This was Kate Smith. And every business will give you a beggar's cup. It'll give you a beggar's cup of coffee. Now, do you understand what it means when it says a beggar's cup of coffee? When a beggar goes into a coffee shop and they say, hey, can I get a cup of coffee? And they just give them a small cup of coffee, black, no sugar, no cream. You get a cup of coffee. You probably won't get the cup of coffee you desire, cup of coffee you want. A latte, caramel macchiato, 2 shots of espresso, hold room for whipped cream, soy, or whatever it is, right? I've been going to Starbucks since they opened. I don't go there. When I frequent a Starbucks, if somebody's there or in an airport, if I've got some time in between, I don't know how to order there. I can afford most cups of coffee. I just don't know how to order it, and I get nervous. Anyways, that's me. That's an aside. So the point is in persistence. What are you currently getting a beggar's cup in your current opportunity? How would you force? Oh, here you go. This is one of my notes written in the margins. How would you force poverty to give up to break its power? How would you force poverty to give up in your life? Persistence is state of mind, therefore it can be cultivated. Like all states of mind, persistence is based upon definite causes. Among them, these are the most important definite causes. One, definiteness of purpose. Knowing what one wants is the first and perhaps the most important step toward the development of persistence. Here's my point on this. And when this sinks in, it'll make sense. And if it doesn't sink in, it's because you haven't crossed over the bridge yet. If you're comfortable, you don't have a definite major purpose. If you're doing well, you don't have a definite major purpose. You know how I know that? A, because I've been there. B, if you're doing well, you're in comparitis. The only way you do well is if you're hanging out with people who are not doing well. Does that make sense? If you're doing well, it's because you have this definition that I'm better than those around me. I'm better than where I was. If you compete with the person you were, you will always win. And there's really no big race. It's like me running with one of my nieces or nephews. If we were trying to, now today, they may probably beat me. They're in their early 20s. When they were little, I didn't have to practice. I didn't have to stretch before I ran because there was no chance of them beating me. Do you realize there's no chance of your past ever beating you? And if you don't, and which keeps most people from having a definite major purpose. I'm doing okay. I'm struggling right now a little, but I could really do, I'm really doing okay because we're taught by social media to put on our airs, to put on a good show, to make it look like we're having fun. When you really understand people and when you really start to see people and when you start to see signal and you start to see story, you're going to see a lot of people who are hurting. A lot of people who are hurting. And they think they're pulling one over on you. That life is good. So, definiteness of purpose. To desire. It is comparatively easy to acquire and maintain persistence in pursuing the object of intense desire. Intense desire needs energy, needs brain power. You know why most people can't have intensity? Because they're not physically fit. They're not mentally fit. You can't work 20 hours a day. Well, that's not healthy. You're out of balance right now. You're in a fight for your brain. You're in a fight for your brain. And your brain has you convinced because it's trying to keep it safe from having to think, from having to do the work. And your body's not anywhere near capable because it's so full of toxins that you can't stay up 18 hours a day and work. It's dehydrated. It's not getting the right nutritionals, all of the above. It's in a toxic environment, emotionally, mentally, physically. It's hard to have intense desire if your body's not willing to cooperate. Number 3, self-reliance, belief in one's ability. Belief, that's it, right? There's the secret. Belief in one's ability to carry out a plan encourages one to follow the plan through with persistence. Self-reliance can be developed through the principle described in the chapter on auto-suggestion. Definiteness of plans, organized plans, even if they may be weak and entirely impractical, encourage persistence. Accurate knowledge. Knowing that one's plans are sound based upon experience or observation encourages persistence. Guessing instead of knowing destroys persistence. Well, do you want to get to the next rank? I guess so. Do you want to eat over? I guess so. If you started knowing your goals instead of guessing at your goals, you'd have an entirely different day. Cooperation. No, accurate knowledge. Knowing that one's plans are sound based upon experience or observation encourages persistence. Guessing instead of knowing destroys persistence. Cooperation. Sympathy, understanding, and harmonious cooperation with others tends to develop persistence. If you're always arguing that everybody else is wrong, everybody else is not doing it, if out there is the problem, I can guarantee you in here is where the problem is. If out there is a problem, the only way the problem exists out there is because of your focus and your filter through which you see out there. How do I know it's not a problem? Because if you can look at it and somebody else could look at it and you react different than they do, then it's not out there. It's inside. 100%, it's inside. Willpower, the habit of concentrating one's thoughts upon the building of plans for the attainment of a definite purpose leads to persistence. And habit. Persistence is the direct result of habit. The mind absorbs and becomes a part of the daily experience upon which it feeds. Fear, the worst of all enemies, can be effectively cured by forced repetition of acts of courage. You know, when it says no fewer than 100 times is the secret to success been revealed on these pages? On most pages is the secret. It will leap off the page at you. This is italicized. Kind of wants to give you a little nudge saying, hey, this might be a secret. Forced repetition of acts of courage will induce persistence. Everyone who has seen active service in war knows this. Before leaving the subject on persistence, take inventory of yourself and determine in what particular, if any, you are lacking in the, see, isn't that nice? Isn't Hill nice when he takes the pressure off? Take inventory and determine what particular, if any, you are lacking in this essential quality. Measure yourself courageously, point by point, and see how many of the 8 factors of persistence you lack. The analysis might lead to some discoveries. Symptoms of lack of persistence. There's 16 of them. Gosh, there's a lot of writing in my book. Here you will find the real enemies which stand between you and noteworthy success of achievement. Here you will find not only the symptoms indicating weakness of persistence, but also the deep-seated subconscious causes of this weakness. Study the list carefully, face yourself squarely if you really wish to know who you are and what you're capable of doing. These are the weaknesses which must be mastered by all who accumulate riches. 1, failure to recognize and clearly define exactly what one wants, DMP. 2, procrastination, with or without cause, usually backed up by a formidable array of alibis and excuses. Well, they didn't do it. They didn't say they'd sign up. They said they would do this. They lied. They didn't do this. The company did that. The weather did this. Alibis for your excuses. Number 3, lack of interest in acquiring specialized knowledge. What do I need to know that for? Number 4, indecision, the habit of passing the buck on all occasions instead of facing issues squarely, also backed by alibis. Number 5, self-satisfaction. There's but little remedy for this affliction and no hope for those who suffer from it. Self-satisfaction. I did good. I'm good. This is good. This is good enough. Indifference, usually reflected in one's readiness to compromise on all occasions rather than meet opposition and fight it. Number 8, the habit of blaming others for one's mistakes and accepting unfavorable circumstances as being unavoidable. Accepting unfavorable circumstances as it's unavoidable. Can't avoid that. Weakness of desire due to neglect in the choice of motives that impel inaction. Number 10, willingness, even eagerness to quit at the first sign of defeat, based upon one or more of the 6 basic fears. Lack of organized plans placed in writing where they may be analyzed. Do you have your goals written up? Do you have your goal cards with you, right, Bob Proctor? I got the greatest compliment last night. Carl Wilson had sent me a text and with a copy of a Bob Proctor video talking about his goal cards. He said, did you ever watch Bob? I mean, is Bob a big influence in your life? And I said, well, he was mine and Michelle's personal mentor 24 years ago. He said, because you sound an awful lot like him. Well, yeah, he's been a big influence. Wishing instead of willing. Number 13, wishing instead of willing. 12, the habit of neglecting to move on ideas or to grasp opportunity when it presents itself. That was 12. 14, the habit of compromising with poverty instead of aiming at riches. General absence of ambitious to be, to do, and to own. The absence of that ambition to be, to do, and to own. 15. These are the reasons, the symptoms of lack of persistence. Here's number 15. Searching for all the shortcut to riches. I just want to win the lottery. I just want leaders to join my business. I just want fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. That's shortcuts to riches. Trying to get without giving a fair equivalent, usually reflected in the habit of gambling, endeavoring to drive sharp bargains. And 16, fear of criticism, failure to create plans and to put them into action because of what other people will think, do, or say. The enemy belongs at the head of the list. This enemy belongs at the head of the list because it generally exists in one's subconscious mind, where its presence is not recognized. See the 6 basic fears in a later chapter. We're going to end there. Look at that. We got through a couple of pages. Questions, comments, thoughts, takeaways, take with yous. The symptoms of lack of persistence. Questions, comments, thoughts. Going once. Going twice.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
You don't want to leave so early. How are you feeling this morning?
Outstanding. Getting better.
Lack of persistence, you said.
Yep.
Can you explain that a little better?
Okay. So, is it okay if I use a thought that you shared with us?
Sure.
Okay, excellent. You said you wanted to talk to 50 people a day, 10 people a day.
100 people a day.
100 people a day. Did you talk to 100 people yesterday?
No.
That's like a persistence.
Well, I did for a week.
How's that working for you? That's great. That's awesome. You had persistence for a week. Can you have persistence for a year? I promise you, if you have persistence for a year, if all of us, I don't say all of you, all of us did the thing we know we need to do for a year, you wouldn't need any other years. You wouldn't have to have more years of persistence. You now would change your persistence to figure out ways to spend your money. So yes, you had persistence for a week. Congratulations. Question is who told you to quit?
Well, no one told me to quit, but I left for Las Vegas, and so it became, well, no, I shouldn't say it became impossible to do
Right.
it. Certainly, I could have still done it. But
That's an alibi.
I had made the goal to reach out to 100 people from Sunday until I was leaving.
Okay.
And I did do that.
Excellent. But you said you were going to do it 100 a day. So
well,
I would
that's what
continue to do it.
The goal was 100 a day from that Sunday until I was leaving.
Awesome.
So
now what's the number?
Well,
now that you're back.
I haven't said a new number. I should still do 100 a day, but it's become well, there has been an issue with my messenger suddenly.
Okay.
But I can use a different platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So the point is that pick a number and just stay with it. That's all. That's persistence. Persistence is discipline, and discipline is the ability to do something long after the emotion of making the decision to do it has left. That's discipline and persistence.
Yes,
awesome.
Very true. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
Hey, good morning, Sean.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Brad
I
Chambers.
don't want to leave here without saying good morning, but
Good
I'm
morning.
preparing for my Toastmasters persistently.
Oh, awesome. I
If I
love
would
it.
have been a little more persistent yesterday, I would already be done and be prepared, right?
I didn't think that at all.
Yeah, I did. I did. I, I've learned. I learned. I know what. Yeah, I appreciate it. You're
And
right.
here's the thing. When we do this, when we realize that we have the skill of persistence, skill and talent are two different things. We have the skill, we find out we have the talent of a persistent talent. Then we have to come up and figure out, why would we ever not be persistent? That's our auto suggestion. So the fundamental, if we were going to go build a fire, we have to have some clean, dry starter something, right? Starter cotton, leaves, dry something. Otherwise, we really have to get our fire hotter. And so many of us have put a wet blanket on our dreams. We have been persistent in delaying our dreams. The fact that now we need to be persistent and igniting them, it takes a little bit extra effort. If you've ever tried to write, what's his name? Earl Shaw, one of the legends of network marketing, used to say, he was from, I think, East Texas. He used to say, if this don't light your fire, you're using wet wood. So we have the persistence. We know we have it. The question then becomes, I know it. I've done it. I can do it. Why do I wait for deadlines? And how do I activate it sooner so that my persistence flows and I can get more done? That's self-talk. Does your self-talk include, I am eagerly persistent on a daily basis towards my definite major purpose? And if you've had a definite major purpose in total clarity, persistence is a default mode. They all link. It's this mosaic of awareness, right? If your goal is to be a keynote speaker, then you'd be working on this thing all the time, not just for Toastmasters.
Absolutely.
You'd be
Yeah.
recording your presentations when you walk into people and just turn your phone on and record it, because you can record one side in Oklahoma and in Texas, and you're using it for your own purposes.
That's more so what I'm doing, to be honest with you. Just
Cool.
preparing for my long term. But
Yep.
yeah, it's interesting. We was talking this morning. It's it's easy to. It's just like you say. It's when it's easy to do something, it's just as easy not to do it, right? So it getting past that where I know what the outcome is going to be if I do not do a certain thing, but then getting past the point where I'm okay with that result, right? So I know that if I don't do it, I'm not going to go to the next level. But okay, I'm good with that. I don't really necessarily have to go to the next level right now. But then not even realizing what I'm missing out on by not doing that. It's just the unknown of if I knew what I was there, I'd probably have a little bit more fire underneath me. Not that I don't have a fire underneath me, but it would be a lot bigger. Like
Well,
the wood wouldn't be wet anymore.
the biggest challenge is that you'd have to have a new story. Everybody for the last 8 years wouldn't believe it. You got a brain problem. A, you weren't a good speaker before. Then now we got a reason why you're a little goofy, because your brain's messed up.
Right?
You worked on it, you fixed it, but that's still a story.
Yeah.
That's what this sticker used to be, TB3.
Yeah.
Right? So that's an old story. And that story runs at a subconscious level going, well, me being a speaker, do you know what it takes to be a good speaker? You got to be sharp. You got to be on your feet. You've proven it in every sales call you've ever had.
Yeah. And it sometimes I don't know what it's called, but like you get in your own head and you hear the story over and over. Like I know my story, so I get bored with it, right? And so I think that it's not new. It's not something I could share. It's keeping that fire to where it's new every time. What's a good way to keep that
When people
freshness and newness?
when people hear your story, are they inspired?
Oh, absolutely.
Then stop keeping it a secret.
Yeah.
See, your vulnerability gives us courage. So then the problem is that if you're not courageously stepping out and telling the story that you've told 1,000 times. Hi, everybody. My name's Sean Murphy. I'm a farm boy from Ohio. How many times do you think I've told that story?
A few.
A few. Just a biscuit over a ton. I would be bored if I was thinking that it was for me. It's what I know is a script that will inspire people. It will inspire my tribe with that vibe of people who say, wow, I could do it if he could do it.
I like that. Yeah.
I pray nobody has a TB3, traumatic brain injury level 3. That's significant, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what Brad has. And if you didn't know that, talking to him going, oh my God, really? Yeah. The swelling that was in his brain had to go into his body. That's why he's so big. That's how much swelling was in his brain.
Go somewhere.
Had to go somewhere. Like squeezing toothpaste out of a tube. The point is that you probably could use that, right? The point is that he has worked significantly hard. He has rewired his hardware, literally upgraded his hardware. He's given new space. There's other parts of his brain that don't work. He's not focusing on that, saying they don't work. He's saying what does work. And the brain literally had to activate new parts, new neural connections, and new creations that you wouldn't know he has a TBI3. But what you do know is that he's got a heart, he's connected, right? Music was a great savior to his brain, right? Physically hearing it, audibly connecting, tuning, right? Sliding the fingers through. All of that is massively brain rebuilding. He loves to play the bass. He loves to be at church. A lot of those things didn't exist a handful of years back, because there was this whole story of why me, why this. When you lose your daughter, why me, why this? That eats your brain. He had to do a lot of work. And so it's not that it gets, let me ask you this. For the person who hears it the first time, do you think they're tired of hearing of it?
No, they're typically in tears.
Right. So that's the part, are you ready for the love that causes you, that makes you think you want to change it or shift it? Just tell the same thing. Yeah. You know, you read a Psalm in the Bible. Wouldn't it be nice that Psalm 32, I don't know what it is, that every time you go to read it, it's like, well, that's what it was. It wasn't that yesterday. People need Brad's Psalm TBI3.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever the Psalm is that you would say, the thing that you say all the time. They get Sean's Farm Boy Psalm. Barely made it through high school, drove by a lot of colleges. I'm here to help you have more of what you want, less of what you don't.
Yeah. It's a journey that I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I hadn't went through what I went through. And back then I would, it was very challenging for me to understand that. But now it's a lot of tools that I have that I didn't have before, and I wouldn't have had if I hadn't experienced what I experienced.
And you get to tell people, listen, how many of us think our brain doesn't work as good as we'd like it to? I had an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They labeled me. They said your brain is like 3 times less performing than most people's brain. You got problems.
If you live, you'll be a vegetable, is what they tell my family.
Oh wow, how cool.
I'm a little bit past the vegetable. I'm not.
You're like a potato.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask, right?
You're like a gourd.
Yeah, I love it, brother. Are you okay, brother?
I'm outstanding.
All right. So you look like you have something on your mind.
No, I'm good. Good. No, Harry V singer songwriter, who I've known for going on 15 years because of YouTube, just popped into the challenge into the YouTube channel over here. What an amazing songwriter. He was in England, he was in Europe, and then he came to North Carolina. Never met, but we just have this relationship. So it was neat to see him pop up. I was like, wow. Yeah.
It's always neat to see you pop up, man. Well,
Love
enjoy
it,
your
brother.
day. I'm gonna
I love it.
see what I can do to change lives. Thank you for all you do,
Big
my
hugs
friend.
to your bride. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, there she is. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Brad. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, take with yous. We'll wrap it up. It's been raining all night. We needed the rain. The lake's down probably 20 feet, well, more than that, probably 30 feet. But that's typical. That's typical. And then it starts in the fall when the rain comes back. Our pond is down almost 30 inches. That's a lot.
Well, I was down at the cabins last weekend. You almost couldn't even see the water. It's so low.
Isn't it crazy?
It's insane.
It's
and then it decides to rain when I'm out building a fire. I'm like, really? that's my story.
Hey,
there, bro.
Thanks for the rain. Thanks for the rain.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, everybody. I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. Saturday, 2:30, you're going to get information, and there'll be more information here coming out about storytelling. The reason people don't buy from you, Junie, how are you? The reason people don't buy from you is because they can't hear your story. They don't have a reason to brag to buy from you. And I'm going to teach you the psychology behind it, the reasons behind it, how to create your 30 and 60-second stories so that you're never left stumbling or backpedaling when somebody says, what do you do? That's going to be Saturday at 2:30. Love you tons. All right, everybody, I'm your head brain training, persistent, moving, motivational speaker. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
At the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us all. And the queen of helping you persist and move forward, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss
Lee, we love you, girl. A little white, fluffy.
Girly.
All right, everybody, go have some fun today. I love you tons. We'll see you all here tomorrow morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Thank you, Sean.
Bye for now.
Love you all. Have a great day.
Love you all.